Hey, very happy to have you here. Country guitar is very similar to blues guitar, rock guitar, which is a lot of the starting point for a lot of players. Country, though, has similar chords, it has similar scales, but it has its own accent and its own rhythms of doing things. And throughout this entire boot camp, we're going to be getting into the macro and micro details involved in this beautiful genre. Blues and country are very similar. If I were a blues guitar player, I would look at today's example of a 1-4-5 chord progression, or ADE, and it would sound something like this. But if I were to play that country, I could go. So let's dive into what I just played. So we're going to use the A chord, the D chord, and the E chord. We also have a backing track that you can play along to as well that has the same rhythm. But I want to show you a lick first, and then I'll show you a drill. And these are all going to be around A, D, and E. And we're in the key of A. And in Nashville, where country music is most played and created and recorded, there's a thing called the Nashville number system. And we'll get that to that in a later lesson here. But for the time being, I'm going to call these chords A, D, and E, and then also 1, 4, and 5. I'm going to speak in both languages, if you will, throughout the entire duration of this boot camp. So we're going to start on A, and that's our 1. And we're going to go to our D, which is our 4, and E, which is our 5. And that's very easy because it's A, B, C, D, 4, A, B, C, D, E, 5. No need to dive into that too deeply right now, but just keep that in the back of your mind. So very simply, before we start our A chord, let's walk into the A chord. And this is our lick for today. Very, very simply, I'm on the E string, open E, fret 2, which is F sharp, fret 4, which is G sharp. And there is your open A string. So very, very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You also can take this lick and use it in your 4, which is D, and you can also use it in your 5. That's genius, because then you can tie all 3 chords together with a lick that creates a very easy flowing chordal cycle. To D, back to A, to E. You and I will be practicing this lick below, but let's go through a drill. And this drill is going to be based on rhythm. Country has certain rhythms that are proprietary to its genre, just like other genres have different rhythms. Country has, most notably, a beat that's called the train beat, and it emulates the rhythm of an old-time train. Now, with no chords, no melody, nothing at all, just rhythm, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you apply some chords to that, it sounds very fun. So there is your drill. We'll be practicing this drill below. Before that, I want to talk about the tone here. Tone and touch are aspects of guitar that you're never going to stop coming in contact with. So it's very important that you focus on them throughout your practice cycles, your playing cycles. Tone and touch. In country, especially on a Telecaster, which is kind of the definitive country guitar, you find that a lot of the tone comes from right down here at the bridge where the strings are most tense. So if you have an electric guitar and you're playing along at home, just to get the most of that Nashville and Bakersfield style twang out of your amp or whatever you're playing through, play down here. Hear how this walk-up sounds if I were to play it just in the middle of the guitar. But if I bring it down here, it's incredibly different. That was an overview of this chord progression, and we are going to be diving into this lick and this drill and this backing track in the section below. For this drill today, we're going to be focusing just on this rhythm. I'll play it very slow, and I'll play for 8 bars so you can play along. What's happening is the pick is going down on the A string, down as a strum, and then up as a strum. So it's down, down, up. But really, you want to just feel it, just like walking. You don't really think right, left, or left, right. You just do it. Rhythm is very much so similar in that way. So if you have to think about it at first, that's fine. But you want to arrive at a relationship with the rhythm where you don't have to think about it. It can just be autonomous. Like a Tesla. All right, let's go up one level higher. We're going to do the same rhythm for the same amount of measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If this is too fast for you, I want you to slow it down and practice it very slowly and refer to the notation below if you need a visual cue on how to get this more integrated into your rhythm. If it's too slow for you, speed it up. With country, you can't go too fast. But the most important thing here is to stay in pocket and to stay in rhythm. I encourage you to practice this slowly and surely, patiently and persistently, because it is a main stable rhythm for country guitar. This is our lick for today's lesson. Very slowly. Same thing in D, same frets, different string. Let's walk into the 5 chord, which is E, in the key of A, B, C sharp, D, E. It's our 5. Third variation of this lick. One more time. And here it is fast. So our song today is in the key of A. It uses the A, D, and E chords. It's also going to use the rhythm that we discussed, and it's also going to use the walk-ups we discussed. Let me play it for you one time through without the track. 1, 2, 3. That's a full chord progression. That's also full speed, had all of the walk-ups, and it used the right hand rhythm that we discussed earlier. Here's a more simplified option on how to approach this song. I'll play it a little bit slower too. 1, 2, 3. I didn't have a lot of walk-ups or walk-downs going on in there. No left-hand fret slides, nothing advanced on the right-hand rhythm, but I did do a train beat. I did use my 1, 4, and 5 chords, and I had a 1 walk-up in there to the A to start out the song. If you refer to the notation below, it's going to reflect what's directly on the backing track. Now, I want to make sure you understand that you have the freedom to interpret this backing track in a way that's either more simple or more complex. As long as you have the chord, as long as you have the rhythm and the right intention, you playing along to this track will be absolutely fine.
Thanks for watching. Before you go, are you an intermediate guitarist? Have you stopped making progress and you don't know how to get to the next level? Go to Pick Up Music. We're the only site that specializes in guitar lessons for intermediate guitarists.